My whites and colors go together, so I don't think that you want me to do that. Whether you're an AI pro or you're curious about getting started, during this meeting you'll learn some tips and tricks to help you get the most out of AI technology. Sarah Arndt-Beyer, a member and past president of the Rotary Club of La Crosse downtown, is passionate about using emerging AI technologies in her professional capacity as marketing communications manager for Nortec Air Solutions and as a consultant with the Small Business Development Center at UW La Crosse. Sarah also avidly uses AI in her personal life for productivity, personal development, and just for fun. Welcome, Sarah.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm so excited to be here talking with you today about AI. I do want to preface today's discussion though with maybe a disclaimer, and that is that I recognize that people have strong feelings about AI, and I recognize that there are issues with AI. There's problems, right? There's an environmental impact. We know that these AI data centers use a lot of energy and they use a lot of water, and so that can be problematic. We know that there are legal concerns with some of the AI models being trained on copyrighted materials where creators maybe are not getting compensated for that work. We know that there are ethical issues where bad actors are using AI to make scams more sophisticated. Maybe they're making photos and videos that they shouldn't be. So I recognize that there are problems, but that's not the focus of today's discussion. So today is just meant to be fun and informative. You can make your own decisions about whether and how you want to use AI, but my goal today is for you to walk away knowing some of the capabilities of the tools and maybe getting over a little of that fear of using them. So please don't heckle me. So with that, I have a special guest for us today to kick this off.
Hi, how have you been?
Hey Maya, this is Sarah. I'm with the Rotary Club of La Crosse today, and we are talking about how people can use AI for work and home use.
Nice to hear from you again, Sarah. Sounds like your club's still diving into AI. What's been catching your attention most in the latest conversations about using it for work and home?
Well, maybe you can tell us some ideas that you have for how club members might want to use AI.
Okay, so for Rotary Club members, thinking about both work and volunteer sides of things, there's some really interesting potential. Let me brainstorm. For work, AI could handle tasks like creating first drafts of grant proposals, automating project updates, or even personalizing meeting follow-ups for better outreach. It's about taking the tedious stuff off people's plates. But where I think it gets really cool is for the volunteer side. AI could help analyze local community needs from social media, or even create personalized thank you notes to volunteers. That would save so much time. What do you think would be most useful for your group? Work-related things or for volunteering?
Boy, those are all great ideas. What are a few just for fun things people are using AI for?
Ooh, for fun stuff, people are getting pretty creative. I've heard about people using AI to remix song lyrics into funny parodies or creating customized bedtime stories for their kids. Some folks are even using AI to generate travel itineraries based on super specific preferences, like romantic Italian cooking class with the local winemaker, but no tourist traps. It really just depends what people want to personalize or make more interesting. What's the goofiest thing you've heard someone using AI for?
Boy, I really don't know. What's the goofiest thing you've heard of someone using AI for?
Honestly, the weirdest thing I've heard about is people training AI on their pets' meows or barks to generate endless conversations with their animal. Like Whiskers says he wants more treats. People are absolutely committed to this bit. Though I guess if you're really devoted to your pet, why not? What about you? Is there anything you personally like to do that you think AI could inject some fun into?
Well, I like to use AI to transcribe my meetings at work and then create summaries. What are some other ways we can use AI at work?
Smart. That's already being done by so many. So outside transcription, what your team does really dictates the best tools. But generally, AI can really upskill in a lot of areas. Like if you're writing content or reports, AI can suggest better word choices and polish up your voice. Or if you're doing any kind of analysis on data, AI can help identify patterns or outliers you might miss. Think of it as having a really focused research assistant who's up all night digging through info. What kind of work do you and your Rotary members do professionally? I could give you a few more targeted examples.
Sure. How about some fundraising examples?
Okay, fundraising, that's where it gets interesting. AI could analyze past donor data to predict who's most likely to give again, which is way more effective than random outreach. It can also personalize donation requests based on giving history, or even create email campaigns that feel like they're coming from real people instead of generic pitches. What about events? AI can even help with things like event logistics, planning seating arrangements, predicting attendance, or creating event schedules that make sense. What kind of fundraising do you usually do with the Rotary Club? It's about saving time and making sure everything runs smoothly behind the scenes.
Hey, Maya, I
Listen, just
know.
a heads up, we're about. Oh, before I trail off, just wanted to give you a heads up that we're hitting the end of our time for this call. Sesame lets you have much longer conversations if you create a free account, just so you know. In the
Thanks.
meantime, maybe go touch grass, seriously. It's good to step away from screens. Anyway, Sarah, it's been great chatting about AI possibilities with you and the Rotary Club. Keep me posted on what you guys end up trying.
So that was Maya from an AI called Sesame. You can access that and try it out at app.sesame.com. That's a free research preview. This is something we're seeing a lot of AI tools incorporate more of is conversational, where you're actually talking to the AI and it's talking back to you versus just typing. I was really nervous about that because that was actually live and I didn't really know what it was going to say, so I'm glad it worked. All right, so let's switch gears. I know the Rotary Club loves music, so I thought we could compose a song together about Rotary. So someone give me a genre like rock or pop or country or folk. 80s music? All right, so let's do an 80s song about 80s country. Okay, all right, we're getting. All right, we're going to give it a minute to process. So this is using a tool called Suno, and you can use it to compose songs in any style that you want with just a short prompt. So I typed in 80s country song about Rotary Club of La Crosse. We meet weekly on Thursdays at the Cargill Room. Our president is Regina. So this one I would chalk up to kind of like a fun party trick AI, right? So you might use this if you want to impress your kids or your grandkids by creating like a custom birthday song. Is pretty fun. All right, we're almost there.
Pulling by the river, same trucks, the same old tune. Name tags on the table, smell of coffee fills the room. Regina's got that gavel and that let's get rolling smile. Thursday feels like family down the hall a little while. Rotary Club of La Crosse, we raise a glass, we pass that box. Shake a hand, say how you been. Do a little good again. From the Cargill room to the world outside, we joke, we plan, we swell with pride. Every heart and every hometown bloom. Thursdays at the Cargill room.
Not bad, right? All right, guys, that's Suno.com. All right, we're going to switch gears over to our friend ChatGPT. So as you've heard about AI, this is probably the platform that you've heard the most about. It's the one that I use the most. If you haven't used it, you can go try it for free at chatgpt.com. You don't have to have an account. If you do sign up for an account, that's going to give you some added benefits where it can remember your chats and it sort of gets to know you. So I want to show you one example that I use a lot. You can use chat or any AI tool really for meal planning. So what you can actually do is upload a photo of your refrigerator. So one of my projects over New Year's was to like clean out the fridge. So I took the opportunity to like get a photo that I wouldn't be embarrassed to share with all of you. So you can take it on your phone. There's an app for ChatGPT, or you can email it to yourself and upload it on the computer version. And then the prompt I'm using is, here's a photo of my fridge, plus I have normal pantry staples like canned vegetables, pasta, beans, etc. Build a 3-day dinner plan. So you could do a whole week. I'm just doing 3 days so it processes a little faster. Build a 3-day dinner plan that uses my existing ingredients first. Only add missing items to the shopping list, and then I'd like to email the list to myself. So we're gonna run, it's gonna analyze the image. This newer version of ChatGPT is kind of cool. You'll actually see it display like its thought process as it's thinking through what I'm asking it to do. You might have seen flash on the screen, I'm going to focus on vegetarian dishes, so chat knows that I'm a vegetarian. So even though that wasn't in my prompt, it knows that about me from our past conversations. And it's actually really good at picking up what items are in that photo, so you don't have to be overly precious about making sure it can see everything. You can use this in other ways too, right? So you have that bar cart maybe. You can take a photo of it and ask it to suggest drink recipes for you. I like to use it for troubleshooting appliances around the house, right? So you can take a photo of your washer or your dryer or your dishwasher. It's going to recognize what the brand is. It can look up the user manual for you, and then you can describe the problem that you're having, and it's going to give you a description back about how to troubleshoot or fix that issue. All right, so here comes our 3-day dinner plan. And so it's going to include the recipe, and you can prompt it to get a little more detail. And then it's going to give me a shopping list. And what's really cool is it's like formatted it in an email. So I can mouse over, open an email. It's going to pop open Gmail or Outlook or whatever I'm using. And then I can email this to my husband so he can pick it up from the store. And then what I love about it is it's going to prompt you to kind of keep the conversation going. So it's going to give you some suggestions about what you could do next. So it says, if you want, tell me whether you'd like these dinners to be strictly vegetarian or vegetarian base and optional meat add-on, and I'll tailor the bowls wraps accordingly. So it's always going to kind of prompt you to keep the conversation going and help you understand how you can get more out of it. Okay, so let's switch gears. There's other AI tools beyond just ChatGPT. Claude by Anthropic is another great one. A lot of people really like Claude for its like conversational tone. I like it for travel planning. I know we've got some travelers here, so let's plan a trip together. Where should we go? Saudi Arabia. All right, so one pro tip when you're using AI, there's this idea that we have to be expert prompt writers, right? And you can like take classes to be a good prompt writer. Now the AIs are so smart that you can ask the AI to write the prompt for you, and then you can just customize it, or you can ask it to ask you questions to help accomplish whatever it is you're trying to do. So I typed in, I'd like to plan a trip to Saudi Arabia, ask me questions to plan the trip. Yeah. Chuck, am I going to be on a list now? All right, so it's asking me, when are you thinking of going and for how long? So we'll say May, 4 days, traveling from MSP, budget, let's say mid-range options. May is a great time to visit, it says. Okay. What type of experience do we want? All in one place. We like museums and food. All right, we'll see. All in one place. We like museums and food. I like alcohol. I should mention that Saudi Arabia is a dry country. Yeah. Do you still want to continue planning, or do you want to go somewhere else? Funny. All right, so this prompt is going to take it a little longer to process, but what's cool now with the newer versions of these AI tools is that you can tell it what you want it to export. So it doesn't just have to be a text response. You can ask it to create a table, an Excel file, a PowerPoint deck for you. And they've gotten really smart at giving you whatever it is that you want. So we're going to let that run and come back to it. And we're going to switch over to another one of my favorite AI tools. This is called Notebook LM. So this is a Google product. It uses Google's AI Gemini. And this one's really great for work or learning. So basically what Notebook LM does is allows you to set the sources that you want to work with. So for example, I've added the Rotary Club of La Crosse website, and I've added Rotary International's website. You can also link to YouTube videos. Let's say you maybe work in sales and you are prospecting a certain business. You could put that business's website in as a source. You could upload their strategic plan or their sales brochure. If you're trying to learn a new skill, you could find some sources about that. It's great for learning. And then you can query the AI, and it's only going to query the sources that you gave it. So this helps us know that we're getting much more accurate information, and it's not going to hallucinate or make up things. So if I ask it a question about Rotary, like what is Rotary's signature project, it's going to query the Rotary Club of La Crosse's website and Rotary International's website, and it's going to give me an answer just from those sources. So we can have a higher level of trust that this is going to be accurate. And then its big party trick is that it can create different resources from that information for you. So like if we're trying to learn something we want to study, it can create flashcards from the data. Anyone know the answer to this one? More than 1.2. Yeah, nice job. How about this one? Rotary has contributed more than how many billion? Yeah, 2.9. Nice job. You can, let's see, Michelle's gonna like this one. This is a newer feature. You can have it create an infographic. Right? Well, that's pretty nice. Just from the data. I didn't give it any prompts for that. It just looked at those two sources. And then the really fun one, if you're an auditory learner, it can create a podcast for you to listen to, a custom podcast. Oh, this might be our first glitch of the day. Well, I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. It'll create a podcast that you can listen to, and it's quite good and interesting. All right, so let's go back to our Saudi Arabia trip. So here, if you're like me and you really like to have that day by day and hour by hour, it can create something that you can export to Excel for your trip. And then you can even keep prompting it, like add all of these places to a map, and then you can import that to your Google Maps. It can do live translation, so if you need to like scan the menu or have a conversation with someone, you can use the tool for that. All right, I think I'm out of time, so I just want to do one more little, just for fun with you. So you can load the ChatGPT app to your phone, and then you can have a conversation with it, kind of like we did for Sesame. How many R's are there in strawberry?
In the word strawberry, there are 2 R's. One is in the middle and one is near the end.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Strawberry has 1 R after the T and another R toward the end, right before the Y. So 2 R's it is.
Can you spell out strawberry and count the R's?
Of course. Let's spell it out together. STRAWBERRY. And if we count those R's, we've got 1 in the middle and 1 near the end, so that's 2 R's total.
How many R's are there in strawberry? 3, yeah. So just a reminder, AI is fun, it's a useful tool, but it can make mistakes. So check your work.
Great. How about some questions or comments for Sarah?
Catherine, go
Hi.
ahead.
Sarah and I have had conversations about AI on our walks, so I want to sneak one in. But if I knew your ChatGPT name, your account name, and I went on it now and asked you what you have in your refrigerator, would it tell me because you uploaded a picture? Just thinking about privacy.
Yeah, so privacy is definitely a concern with any AI tool that you're using, and even tools that aren't AI first, but that are using AI. It's a really good idea, to Catherine's point, to investigate the privacy and security settings. And I'm kind of a tinfoil hatter, and so I like to opt out of all of the data sharing that I possibly can. Many of these platforms are going to opt you in to training the data on your model, and so you have to actively opt out of it. Great example of this is LinkedIn. Who's on LinkedIn? Yeah, all right. So if you've poked around your privacy settings lately, you probably saw that LinkedIn opted you in by default to using data that you input to LinkedIn to train its AI models. And so unless you knew about that and went in and opted out, it's using information that you provide. Lots of platforms are doing this. So it is a good habit to get into to check your privacy settings on any online tools that you're using. Listen to your IT department, right? Lots of IT departments are blocking use of AI because of this privacy concern, right? If I upload our sensitive budgetary data, we don't want that being used to train the model and showing up in other people's searches. That's why a lot of bigger businesses are using like Microsoft Copilot that has enterprise data protection enabled, where you can feel confident that any information you're adding is not being used to train the model or showing up in other people's searches. And then just good, we just want to be thinking through security and privacy. So would I upload sensitive financial information? Would I upload sensitive health information? You have to think about how that might be being used, being retrieved, and make your own decisions about that. So good point, Catherine.
Thanks, Sarah. We have another one just a little further to your right.
Hi, Sarah. It's hard to not use AI and remain competitive in many fields nowadays, but it's hard to also deal with the guilt of the environmental impact. Do you know of any hope for mitigating the damage to the environment because of AI?
Yeah, good question. And it certainly is a concern. There was a really interesting news article about like how much extra water and energy it takes if you use the word please in your prompts to ChatGPT and other AIs, because it's just doing like extra processing for one extra word. I think that a lot of companies, I think AI is here to stay, personally. And I think a lot of companies are invested in trying to find ways to make this cleaner and more efficient. But it's definitely an issue that's going to have to be addressed.
Hi, Sarah. Bridget Thomas. My question is, I've had the personal experience, right, where you get the text from mom or grandma, and it's like, hey, did you see this? And I'm like, that's not a real photo. That's AI. That person has 6 fingers. Like, do you have just a couple tips on how people can differentiate what may or may not be real content, especially in the news?
Yeah, thank you. That's such a great question. And unfortunately, the AI, both video and image generation, has gotten to the point where you can't tell. I ran out of time. I was going to show you some examples, but it used to be seeing is believing, and that's not the case anymore. Even video that used to be pretty hard for AI to do well now can be indistinguishable. And so quite frankly, we just, even those good like media literacy skills that we learned and being skeptical is not going to serve you anymore. We can't necessarily trust what we're seeing online. So we do need to be cautious and thoughtful and skeptical always.
Thanks, Sarah. Richard Strauss. I remember being in college and in a pretty basic computer course, and we were tasked with writing a program for like compound interest. How do you go from something like that to Maya and the other thing, the music? I mean, where is this? How was this created? I can't even fathom where it comes from. It's so phenomenally sophisticated and will only get more sophisticated. So who did this, or who does it, or how?
Yeah. Good. Ask ChatGPT. No. Good question, Richard. There's big money in this, and lots of companies, especially the big media giants like Meta and X and Google, Apple now, they're all doubling down on this and incorporating it into their platforms. There's big money, there's lots of opportunity. It's been around for a long time, right? But in recent years, the speed of the evolution has gotten much faster, and we're seeing, even from like when I started using it about 2 to 3 years ago, just these huge jumps in quality and complexity of what it's able to do. So hold on to your seats.